Been called to collapse of an anonymous person. I'm just having a look around the area now. I can see that there's no immediate danger. So it is inside some refined house. There's not a lot of furniture around to worry about. There doesn't look like there's any knives or anything like that. We're not near a road, so I don't need to worry about vehicles. So I'm going to continue on now and continue with my investigation.
Hey there, mate. Can you hear me? It's the ambulance here. Hey there, mate. Can you open your eyes for me? I'm not getting any response, mate. Can I get you to open his chest and check for a pulse? Not getting any signs of breathing.
No pulse.
Yeah, no?
No.
Okay. Can I get you to start compressions for me? 100 beats per minute. Come on, comms. We've got an R49 requesting an R50.
25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
Analyzing heart rhythm.
Sorry.
Do not touch the okay, step back and clear.
Shock supply. Charging. Stay clear of patient. Deliver shock now. Press the orange button. Shock delivered.
Can you start compressions here?
Start CPR.
Continue for the moment. And stop. Chest rise. Chest rise. Did anyone see him fall over? Does anyone know if he's got, does he have any family here? Does anyone know if he's got a history of heart attacks?
25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
Chest rise. Chest rise. Adam, once the defib goes off again, I'm going to swap positions with you.
Okay. Five, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30.
Chest rise. Chest rise. Chest rise. Chest rise. Chest rise. Chest rise. Keep it up. Your compression's really good.
Stop CPR.
Stop CPR. We'll swap positions.
Analyzing heart rhythm. Stay clear of patient.
Stay clear.
Analyzing heart rhythm. No shock advised. Pause. If needed, start CPR.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Chest rise. Chest rise.
Okay, so at the moment we're looking at hemorrhage control. So what we've got here is we've got a patient who's got a severely bad wound. So what we're going to do is, to begin with, we're going to expose the wound. In this case it's already exposed, but we can get it nicely. The second thing that we're going to do is we're going to look to clean the wound if there's mud or debris or anything like that stuck in it. In this case it's relatively clean, but we could irrigate it with saline quite happily. The first step to actually dressing the wound is to pack it. Now what we're going to use is we're going to use a combine dressing in this case, and we're going to stick as small a dressing as possible that covers the entire wound. So in this case we're going to put just there, and we're going to hold it down with lots of pressure. We're going to begin to wrap the dressing. holding the dressing in place as we wrap it. We're going to apply the dressing with lots and lots of pressure. I just get on your hand up a little bit. Cheers, man. Okay, as we apply the wrapping, if we find that doesn't have enough pressure, as we're applying the dressing, we can turn, which is going to apply a substantial amount of pressure across the top of the dressing right here. How's that for pressure? It's not getting off circulation yet?
Feels good.
Good, man. Awesome. Alright, it looks like for the moment that the bleeding has ceased. I'll just wrap it up in the back here. I've done it so tight. In the case that the dressing has continued to bleed out, we've decided that it's a catastrophic hemorrhage. What we need to do is we need to stop the bleeding getting to that area as soon as possible. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to apply a tourniquet. Now, a tourniquet is basically going to cut off the blood, the entire section, and where we're going to do it is we're going to take our tourniquet and we're going to apply it 10 centimeters above the wound, proximal to the nearest joint. So I'm just going to slide this over the top here, go right up. Awesome. I'm going to tighten the windlass till it stops the bleeding, or that its distal pulse has ceased. I'm just going to stop here for the comfort of the patient. I'm going to lock it into position, strap it over, and once I've got the tourniquet in place, I am going to write the time and details of the application on the little tab here. If a single tourniquet isn't enough, I'm going to apply a second tourniquet above the previous one.
So we're looking at the fracture management part of the assessment. So what we're going to do is I've got my patient here. He's done what's happened. I was walking down the road and I just tripped over the curb and I fell forward onto my wrist. I think my left wrist might be fractured. Alright, so I'm going to have a look at it for you and try and assess if it is broken. If it is broken, what we're going to want to do is probably splint it. How much pain are you in at the moment, do you think? Quite a lot. Quite a lot of pain. If you were to rank it out of 1 to 10, what would it be, do you think? About 6. About a 6? Awesome. We're going to get that under control as fast as possible. I just want to run some quick little checks on you before I give you some pain relief, alright? So the first thing I want to do is I just want to expose the wound so I can see what's wrong. Using plus discs, I can see that there is pain. Can you move your fingers for me, maybe? Oh, there's definitely a lack of movement there. I can see some definite unnatural shaping around the wrist area here. There is a little bit of swelling going on. With the unnatural look about it, it's definitely deformed. I haven't touched it yet, so I can't decipher if there is any crepitus. There's no shortening because it's in the wrist. In this case, he's not shocked. I think he's alright. I'm just going to check for your neurological sensation, make sure you can stop feeling in your hair. Can you feel me touching your fingers over here? I can. Is that painful?
I wouldn't say it's painful, but my wrist really hurts.
Alright, yeah. I'm just going to very checkly check for your pulse, alright? Yeah. Just going to check your pulse. Alright, your pulse is alright. I'm just going to squeeze your finger, alright? I'm just looking to make sure that your capillaries are still filling up the blood nice and quick and make sure that your heart's still beating and you're getting blood flow to your hair. I'll just do it to your other finger too, just to make sure it's the same. Cool, so I've got about a 3-second delay on his capillary reflex time, which is within normal. Okay, so what we're going to do is we want to give you some painkillers. Kind of, it's only pain, but we want to make sure it's safe for you to do that. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions just to make sure about that, right? So the painkiller that we're going to be giving you is methoxyfluoride. It's a really awesome painkiller. It's going to make life a lot happier for you. Have you had methoxyfluoride in the last week?
No.
Have you had any renal impairment?
No.
Okay. And I can see that you're obeying my commands quite clearly. So I'm going to give you some methoxyfluoride now. I just want you to suck a little green whistle like this. I'm just going to pop I'm just going to put the liquid in the back of the whistle here. So, and what I'm going to tell you to do is I'm going to tell you to just breathe through it, one breath at a time, but breathe it back into the pen at the same time. So this is methoxyfluoride. I'll put a bag valve mask on the end of it, which is basically going to stop the fumes coming back out if he fails to breathe back through the tube. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this around your wrist, just so it doesn't fall off or you don't let go of it. What I want you to do is I want you to breathe it in and then breathe it back through the mask for me, alright? It's going to kick in pretty quickly, so just let me know when it starts to feel a little bit better, alright? You don't have to keep breathing in, you can stop at any time, alright? So I'm just going to put this in the other hand. How are you
10, what would you rank it now? A 4? Oh, that's good, that's good. Okay. Okay, so what's your plan level now?
I think it's probably come down to like 4.
That's a lot better. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in a splint. It's going to stop the amount of movement that you have in the wrist area and your entire arm, which is going to reduce the amount of damage that you have to the fractured area. Once you're in the splint, I'm going to bandage you up just to make sure that it's well contained in there, that there's no movement. And once we're in the splint, I'm going to put you into a sling, which is going to keep it out of the way and all the weight off that point. Alright, do I have your consent to go forward with that?
You do, sounds good.
Excellent, alright. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to very carefully supporting a hand, lift you up into this. Awesome, okay. Just going to make sure that's well supported in there. Awesome. Okay, so I'm just going to secure your arm into the splint now. So I'm just going to put this just above where the wound is. I'm just going to apply firm pressure, nothing too crazy. I don't want to cut off the circulation to the hand. How's that feeling at the moment, matey?
It feels good.
That's good. Alright, now I'm just going to put you in a sling. But before I do that, I just want to check your vitals just to make sure that we haven't done anything wrong putting you in the splint, alright? So can I get you to move your fingers for me? Good. Can you feel me moving your fingers there?
Yep.
If I grab your other hand and do the same thing, is it the same feeling on both hands?
Yep.
Awesome. I'm just going to check your pulse. Okay, so we've still got good blood flow coming through there. I can see that it's not causing any nervous or cardiovascular issues with that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put you in a sling. Okay, so based on where the break is on your arm, I'm going to put you in a low arm sling. So if you just hold yourself just like that. Just going to take all the break. Is there still pressure on your arm at all?
Feels good.
Feels good? I'm just going to support it in the back here. Cool. Okay, today we're going to be applying a cervical collar. We're going to begin by assessing our patient under the thesis rule. This covers neurodeficit, spinal midline tenderness, alertness, intoxication, or a distracted injury. In the case of our patient here, she's only showing midline tenderness, so that's a pretty good indication that we need to be putting her into a C collar. So the first thing I want to do is I want to ask for your permission and explain the process. Okay, so today we're going to put you in a C collar. It's going to be a little bit uncomfortable. It's going to sit around your neck, but it's going to stabilize your neck for you, so there's no movement. Is that right? Excellent. Cool. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure from the top of your shoulder to the base of your chin. I'm going to set up the C collar effectively. In this case, it's already set. Can I get Chris? Can you hold your head? Thank you. I'm just going to apply it under the chin like so. Wrap it around behind you again. Can you move your chin at all? Cool. Vitals. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to check today is I'm going to check your radial pulse. Do I have your permission just to touch your hand a little bit? You do? Excellent. Right. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to put my 2 fingers here. I'm going to give a little bit of pressure on your base, and I can feel that your pulse is coming through nice and strong. It's regular. So I'm going to time it over 15 seconds. Now if I times that by 4, you've got a heart rate of 60 beats per minute, which is pretty regular really, considering that you're sitting down at least anyway. So the next thing we're going to take is your blood pressure. Now we take 2 readings when we're taking your blood pressure. So we take a systolic and your diastolic. And what we're checking is basically, is it within the normal range? So the way that we do that is we apply this cuff to your arm. We're going to inflate it up until I can hear a pulse in your arm. I'm going to slowly let it go until I can see the pulse again. This is going to give us our systolic. And I'm going to keep releasing until that pulse disappears again. Which is going to give you your diastolic. Okay, excellent. Is that all right for you to do? Yes. Cool. So I'm going to pull your arm out. I'm going to keep your arm as straight as you possibly can for me. Right on you? Yep. Damage. Cool. So I'm going to blow it up until I can no longer... Okay, so I'm going to be listening to his pulse through the stethoscope as... Yeah, you're a big ultra. Stethoscope. Excellent.
That would be an embarrassing mistake.
So I'm going to be listening to his pulse through the stethoscope while I blow it up. So I'm going to blow it up until I can't hear his pulse anymore. And now I'm going to stop. Okay, slowly release again. That dies all of a sudden. Excellent. There now. The normal range for an adult, systolic range is about 100 plus their age up to 40. How old are you, sir?
36.
36. So you've actually got a slightly below average blood pressure for yourself. So yeah, it's not bad. Nothing I'd be too concerned about at the moment. Awesome. The last thing I'm going to do to you is I'm going to do a respiratory assessment on you. And the things I'm going to be looking at today is your respiratory rate, so how fast you're breathing. So I want you just to relax, and then I'm going to auscultate your chest, which means I'm going to listen through the stethoscope to your lungs and listen to you breathe, just to make sure that's all nice and clear. So just relax, find a point on the wall and just stare at it. So 15 seconds I've counted as respiratory rate is five breaths. So if we times that by 4, we put you at awesome. So respiratory rate is sitting at 20 breaths per minute, which is that's totally normal really. Alright. So what I'm gonna do to you now is I'm gonna auscultate your lungs. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna stick on my stethoscope and I'm gonna listen to different areas around your chest. So it is gonna involve me touching your chest. Is that alright? That's good. Excellent. And when I am listening, I'll just ask you to breathe in and breathe out. Nice big deep breaths. Basically measured all 4 quadrants of his lungs, so the upper and the lower half on both sides. I was able to hear very, very clear breathing through all 4 quadrants. There were no wheezes or infections as such. So perfectly normal, healthy lungs. Okay, today we're going to be dealing with oxygen delivery. So the first thing that we want to look at is a regulator, and we want to have a look at the body so see which is inside. So a little gasket, it's got a bit of rubber on the inside, so we want to make sure that it's not perish, it's not going to leak anything like that. Pop it back in. We're going to apply the regulator to the bottom. So just pop it over the top here like so. Hold it in place and tighten it up until it's firm. Once it's firm, we're just going to give it a quarter turn just to tighten it up and make sure it's nice and secure. Then we can turn on the filler valve. Now this is going to show us the level of oxygen in this tank in particular. This tank is empty, so it's showing 0, but normally it will be green, showing good flow or good amount of oxygen in the bottom. We can test the flow of the bottom just by turning the little gasket on the side here. We're checking the flow of the oxygen. We'll take the cord for the mask and apply it to the bottom side of the regulator here. And we're going to set the regulator to the correct flow for the bag that we're using. In this case it's bag valve mask, so we're going to set it to 15 litres per minute. And we're going to let it flow just for a little while before we use it on our patient, just to make sure that it fills up the oxygen correctly. We can then apply it to our patient. And once we're finished using it, we can turn off the regulator. Finally, before we finish, we just want to make sure that there's no extra oxygen left in the regulator and between the regulator and the bottom. So we're going to turn off the filler valve at the bottom and turn on the regulator. This is going to let any excess air escape the regulator, and then we can remove the regulator from the bottom. Okay, today we're going to be using a bag valve mask and rebreather. The first thing that we're going to want to do when we're using this bag is test for leaks. So pull off the rebreather on the end here, place it over the mouth piece. What we're looking for is any obvious leaks. In this case, this one's pretty good. We can place it back on the bottom of the bag valve mask, place the mouthpiece on, and attach it to the bottle, ready to go. Today we're going to be inserting an OPA, which is the oropharyngeal airway. It's used for compromised airways to allow oxygen to flow through. oxygen on, and the oxygen bottle lying on the floor so it doesn't fall over. I'm just going to make sure that the reservoir is filling up correctly. And it is quite nicely. Excellent. What I'm going to want to do before I begin using the bag valve mask is I'm going to want to introduce OPA. This is going to hold its throat open when we're using the bag valve mask. To check that it's the right size, I'm going to hold it from the corner of the mouth and make sure that it hits the corner of their jaw. And I'm going to insert it upside down, and as I'm going in, I'm going to turn halfway. Place it just resting against the teeth. If the patient resists at all, don't force it in, just continue free breathing without the OPA. Using the bag valve mask, I'm going to want to ventilate for the patient once every 5 to 8 seconds. And as I ventilate, I'm going to be looking for chest rise, making sure that it's symmetrical and that it's rising in the general area of his lungs and nothing lower over it. Every time that his chest rises, I'm going to announce aloud that his chest rises so that anyone who's working around me understands that breathing is moving correctly. I'm going to place the mask over his face, covering his mouth and going over his nose. I'm going to be applying intermediate pressure to make sure that there's a really good seal. Chest rise. Chest rise. Chest rise. Right, we're going to be talking about suction and how to use it correctly. This is the suction machine. The first thing that we're going to want to do is we're going to test that that's working correctly. So we're going to take the suction device off the battery. We're going to turn it on. We're going to include the pipe and watch as the flow meter fills up, just to show that it's sucking correctly. If there's any problems with it, we need to troubleshoot it, which we can do by pulling it apart, pulling it out, making sure everything's tight in the right place, and put it together. There's 2 nozzles at the end, so this one's a hard one. You can use this most of the time. However, if you're in a moving vehicle, you can't use it, and there is a soft one to use instead. So when we're using the suction, we want to have the patient lying on their lateral. First, we want to clear out any excess in their mouth. We can use our finger to get the bulk of the fluid out, or vomit, blood, whatever's in their mouth. We want to turn the suction on to full power, and we're only going to suck as far as we can see. When we suck, we're going to suck on the way up, and we're going to be rotating the catheter in a circular motion. It's really important that we only suction for less than 10 seconds at a time. The indications of use of the suction device, if there's any foreign bodies, ulcers or blood or anything like that stuck in the oropharynx area, that the patient isn't able to clear that by themselves. Also, before using the suction device, it's best if you clear any of the bulk of what's in their mouth by rolling them over first to try and get anything out of their mouth. Indications for use are a low GCS and unable to maintain their own weight. There are some complications for using suction. Some of those are induced vomiting, induction or bradycardia by vagal nerve stimulation, hypoxia, aspiration, soft tissue trauma, and laryngospasms. Okay, so today we're going to be looking at the LifePak 15. It's a monitored defibrillator that we carry on a lot of ambulances, and today I'm going to be showing you the basics on how to use it. So to begin with, we're going to turn on the LifePak, which is just the green button here, pop it down, and start. Defaulting to AED.
Analyze.
Before we use the LifePak, we need to run through a series of tests just to be able to show, make sure that it's working correctly. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to check the batteries. So if we turn it around, we can lift up the little flap on the back here, and there's 2 batteries. We can press the little button at the top of the battery symbol, and it's going to light up the charge, showing how much is there. This one's 3 out of 4, so it's 3/4 full. There's a battery on both sides. They can be removed and input, just simply. To place the monitor into manual mode, once we've started it up,
Push analyze.
we're going to select the energy select, turn the dial onto manual mode, and insert by pressing the little dial. We're going to set it to 50 joules today, just for testing purposes. And that's a manual mode. We're going to run an operational check, so we do that by selecting the options menu and using the little dial to scroll down to use a test, which we select by pressing the speed dial. It'll say down the bottom that the test is in progress, and once the test is completed, it will print out a confirmation. We're going to run a test charge on the machine, so we're just going to make sure that our charge setting is at 50 joules, so we can do that by touching the energy select button. It's at 50 joules at the moment, so we're just going to press select on the speed dial. I have the test charge already plugged in here, and we can just charge it up by pressing the charge button. And press shock to administer the charge. To cancel the charge, in the very same way, we would charge it up and cancel, just press the speed dial button. So to change between what our monitor is showing us, so at the moment we're on panels SPO2 and CO2, we want to change to leads 1, 2 and 3. So I can do that by pressing lead and going down and selecting 2, 3 and AVF. I can also have a selection of panels 2, 1, 2 and 3, or go back to the default, which is panels SPO2 and CO2. So in this case we're going to set it onto 2, 3 and AVF. Okay, so we're going to adjust an alarm for the heart rate, which we can do by turning the speed dial and selecting the heart rate over in the corner over here. If we press enter, we can turn up the QRS volume and press home to go back. We're also going to change the amplitude of the graphs, which we can do just by selecting the graph, going to size, selecting, and increasing the amplitude, in this case to 2. And going back to the home screen. And the amplitude of the waves is all increased. So this machine comes with a MBIT, which is a non-invasive blood pressure device. It's stored in the back pocket here, set up in the adult cuff. To use this, we just press the NIBP button here, and it will begin to take a blood pressure of whoever it's attached to. In this case, it's not attached to anyone, so it won't. The CO2 monitor is kept in the side pocket here. It's got a little orange screw at the end of it, and we can put that in just by lifting up a little flap here and screwing it in. The monitoring piece will sit between the bag of a bag valve mask and the filter and monitoring CO2 presence. The other check that we need to do before we begin using the machine is checking that there's enough paper. In this case, there is a little paper reel that sits just below the monitor here. And you can pull it out and check how much paper's in there, so you can print out your ECGs. You can just pop it back in, flap a little bit of paper on the top here. We can change back from manual mode to AED mode just by selecting Analyze.
Analyzing now.
It will begin
Stands
the
clear.
monitor in defibrillation mode, analysing
No
panels
shock
for
advised.
a heartbeat
Start CPR.
and giving direction for CPR.